Guys, One Animate 2.2 is amazing! Oh my god!
Hello humans, my name is KO Overload, and boy oh boy do I have some mind-blowing stuff for you today. Because yes, One Animate 2.2 version 2 is here, and it's just fantastic. Which is an amazing video generation model that can replace a person in a video with just a single reference image, or steal the motion over one character from a video and apply it perfectly to another in a few minutes. And with my brand new workflow, you'll be able to replace anything in only a few clicks. And I will show you everything today. So that being said, sit back, relax, and let's go. And to install One Animate 2.2, you have two ways. The first is of course by using my one-click installer that is available for my Patreon supporters. Just download the file onto your computer, then double-click it, and it will automatically start the installation. It will not only download and install Comfy UI, all the missing nodes and models, but also Triton and Sage Attention. That will be very useful to make the generation speed even faster. I also have a separate models and node-only installer if you already have a previous Comfy UI installed, as well as a Triton and Sage Attention installer, if this is the only thing that is missing. But once you have everything installed, make sure that you update always Comfy UI to the latest version using the update comfyui.bat file that is present inside the update folder. And then once it's done and you launch Comfy UI, for this video I prepared the special One Animate workflow that you can find on my Patreon, so just download the file and then drag and drop it inside Comfy UI. And there you go. And when it comes to the manual installation, the link for it will be in the description down below. Okay, so now we can finally have some fun. So, before we begin, what makes this model so special? And instead of talking, let's actually show you exactly how to use the workflow and give you the final result. So let's say for example, I come here, I upload a video of this woman that I generated in my previous OV video generation video that I highly recommend. If you haven't watched it, it's absolutely fantastic. It kind of sounds like this.
Hey guys, it's me, your AI overlord. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So now I'm gonna input the correct width and height. Then I'm gonna input a reference image. Let's say I choose this one. Then I scroll down, enable this, write a quick prompt, select the correct mask and background image, activate this option. And now if I click run, and then in the end, we get something like this.
Hey guys, it's me, your AI overlord. Pretty cool, huh?
So yeah, there you go. This is what this model can do. One Animate basically can replace the character of an existing video and replace it with the character that you input right here in the reference image section, which is really just amazing because the quality of the generation, the quality of the replacement is really just incredible. It is really good. Now, one thing that this model can also do is that it can actually just copy the motion of the original video and then apply it to our original image. All you have to do is just right here, disable this option, and now if I click run again, which in the end gives us something like this.
Hey guys, it's me, your AI overlord. Pretty cool, huh?
So yeah, as you can see, basically we stole or we basically transferred the movement of the initial video character to our reference image right here. And this is really just the base model. This is really, we're just basically scratching the surface. One Animate 2.2 is really amazing. And in my workflow, I also added a very special method that really elevates this model even further. But don't worry, I'm gonna explain everything. Okay, so now that you know how exactly this model works and what this model can do, let's actually quickly go over the entire workflow, explain how this works, explain all the things that you might want to change, and also all the extra stuff that you can do with it once you know how everything works. So I know that when you look at this workflow, everything seems really complex, but as I just showed you, you really don't need to change a lot of things to make it work. I try to make it as easy as possible to use and as complete as possible, but now I'm going to show you how exactly you use it, how exactly it works. And basically we start right here. We start with the step number 1, where you upload your video reference. You click on this little button, you upload your reference video. So the video where you either want to replace the character inside or that you want to extract the motion to apply it to your reference image right here. And right here, the only thing that you really want to change is either this, the frame load cap, if you want to input a certain frame cap for the video, which is basically the number of frames, to make the video shorter if you just want to generate a quick video. This is where you input the resolution of the video. And usually I put it right here. It's either 480 by 832, either for vertical or horizontal, but you can also use different resolution if you want to like make a square video as well. Then right here is where you're going to input your reference image. So it's either the character that will replace the character in your video or the character that you want to move thanks to the motion of the character in the video. So it is very, very simple. So then right here, you have step number 3, when you have basically all the parameters for the video generation, but you basically don't need to change anything. So first right here on the side right here, you have the Triton compiler, which basically makes the generation even faster, but it only works if you have installed Triton for Windows previously. So either you use my installer or you've done it yourself during a previous install. If you haven't done it and you can't use it, for example, it's not a big deal. You can simply just disable this option. If it gives you an error, it's gonna work either way, but with this option enabled, it will make the generation much faster. So then right here, you don't really need to change anything except Sage Attention here, this attention mode. If you have installed Sage Attention before or with my installer, you're gonna choose Sage Attention right here. But if you haven't installed it and you have errors using Sage Attention, you can simply select and choose SDPA. It will work fine as well, but it will just gonna be a little bit slower. But in my case, since I use the installer, I'm gonna use Sage Attention, which will allow me to generate videos much faster. So then here you have the LoRa loader. This is where you load all the LoRas that you want to use. So this one, the Light 2X, this is the LoRa that you always want to use. You never want to change it, so do not touch this one. This one, the relight LoRa, I will talk about this later in the video, and I will show you what it does. So then here you input your description, your prompt, and the prompt needs to be very simple. You don't need to like write an entire paragraph. You just input like the woman is talking, or the character is talking, or the woman is dancing, something like that. It needs to be very simple. It's really not complicated. So then here you have the seed, you have the steps. You don't need to change that. You can just leave everything by default. Here you have the mask and background image mask that I will talk about later, and I will explain why. So everything right here, you can just leave everything by default. Do not change, do not touch anything. The only thing that you might want to change is one video block swap, which is the amount of transformers to swap. And basically what it does is that instead of using your VRAM, it will actually offload part of the model onto your RAM. So if you don't have a 16 gigabytes VRAM GPU, for example, if you have like an 8 or 12 gigabytes GPU, but you do have a lot of RAM, like for example 64 gigabytes of RAM, in that case you can for example increase that value to something like 40, which will use less VRAM, but in exchange of the normal memory RAM. So this is a very practical solution instead of using quantization, and this is definitely something that you might want to play around with in terms of values to see which value works the best for you. So the next, you're gonna leave everything by default. You don't need to change anything. I will explain some of the nodes like gate face image later in the video, but basically everything after that, you don't need to touch anything. All the parameters are already selected for you. So the next, you have here the masking area. So the masking area, if you want to enable the replacement of the video character by your image character, you need to enable a masking option, because the mask basically masks the moving character to replace it with your image character. If you disable this option, if you disable this entire area, it will automatically use the motion of the video to transfer it to the character in your reference image. So as you can see right here, everything is disabled, hence why the only character that is moving is the character in my reference image right here. But if I enable one of these options, it will do the opposite, and as I showed previously, it will replace the woman in green, for example, with the woman in red. And in terms of masking, you have actually here two different options. And the second option is actually way more interesting. So the first is the automatic masking, which is very easy to use. Basically, all you have to do is basically just enable this option. It's called auto character masking. Make sure that the value here in get mask, make sure that you select the value that says mask. And for the background image, make sure that you select the value that says background image. And when you do, it will automatically just create a mask around the moving character and then replace it with your moving character from image reference right here. Now you can of course play a little bit with the expand mask right here. If you want like a smaller mask, you can input something like 10 or maybe 15 or 20. It doesn't really matter as long as the entire mask covers the entire moving character. And then once everything is done, you can simply click run. And in the end, it gives us something like this. As you can see, pretty much similar to the video that I showed you previously. Now, if you remember correctly, there is something different about this video compared to the previous one. Because in the previous video, this is how the woman actually looked.
Hey guys, it's me, your AI overlord. Pretty cool, huh?
As you can see, there is a big difference in terms of hair compared to this one. Why is that? Well, actually, the problem is the fact that our mask was not big enough. Hence why it is sometimes important, depending on your character style, to increase that amount into something that gives enough room, enough space for the character to animate properly. Hence why, by default, the mask is at 80. But this is definitely something that kinda happens once you start working a little bit and doing testing. But I usually always leave my mask at 80 whenever I use the special auto character masking option. But, as I said previously, this is only one method of masking, because there is actually another method that is way better that I added to this workflow called SEC. And SEC is really the brand new masking model that is really good. And the reason why is that it can perfectly mask a single object throughout the entire video, even when the video changes completely during the scene. As you can see here, they basically decided to track this white dog, and no matter what scene they are in, it will always track that white dog and nothing else. But this also means that we can also track anything we want. And the way to use SEC is very simple. First, you're gonna disable this. You're gonna scroll up. I put here a little note that tells you if you want to use the SEC option, here you need to choose the mask SEC instead of mask, and the background image SEC instead of background image. So then once it's done, you're actually gonna disable everything the first time that you want to use this. So once you have your video reference, once you have your reference image, you can disable everything except this little part 1 for SEC. Then you're gonna click run, and you will see here this new image appear, and then you're gonna click on new canvas to start selecting what you want to mask. And the way you do this is very cool and very simple. You have here two different points, the green points and the red points. The green points are made to select what you want to mask, and the red points is everything that you don't want to mask, everything that you want to keep in the video as is. And you're gonna start putting a bunch of green points and a bunch of red points everywhere on the image. And the way to do this is basically you're gonna hold shift on your keyboard and then left click with your mouse onto the image. And this will create a bunch of green points over the image, which will represent everything that you want to mask on the image. You can put as much points as you want, it doesn't really matter. Here I just put like a 30 points. You can put as much or as little as you want, as long as it can understand what you want to mask, it doesn't really matter. And then for the red points, you're gonna hold shift on your keyboard, but this time you're gonna press right click on your mouse. And this will create a bunch of red points around the image, and this will basically be all the things that you want to keep as is in the image. So once this is done, once you have selected everything that you want to mask, now you can enable this. You're gonna leave everything by default. You don't need to change anything. The only thing that you might want to change once again to make sure that you have enough space is once again the expand mask. So in my case, for example, I will expand to something like 10 or 20. And now once it's done, you're gonna also enable everything up top, and then you're gonna click on run. And once again, in the end, it gives us something like this.
Hey guys, it's me, your AI overlord. Pretty cool, huh?
Once again, we still have like the same problem with the hair. And once again, you can play around with the grow mask value if you want to input that to something like 80 or 100. But as you can see, the masking is actually really precise. And it follows the character very well. But the thing is that SCC can actually do more than just do an entire character masking. It can actually mask very small elements to replace it with something else. So like for example, let's say that I upload this video of the same woman but replaced with another character, and this time I kinda want to replace her clothes with something else. Like for example, this red dress. And all I have to do is I'm just gonna disable everything right here, disable this, enable part 1, then I'm gonna click run, then here I'm gonna click new canvas, and I'm only gonna select her white shirt and nothing else. I'm just gonna select this entire row, like this entire shirt, this white shirt with the tie, and then I'm gonna leave everything else because I actually don't want to change anything else. I just want to replace the clothes. So now if I just enable this connection, and now if I actually click run to see if the mask will actually correctly select what I want to select. Okay, there you go. We might have expanded the mask a little bit too much. So I'm probably gonna change that to something like maybe 50, for example. Click run again, although I could probably just leave it like that, but there you go. Now this looks a little bit better, and as you can see, everything has been selected, everything has been masked, the entire white shirt has been masked, but everything else has stayed the same. And now if I actually just enable everything and I write in the prompt, the woman wearing a red dress is talking, and now if I click run, and in the end it gives us something like this.
Hey guys, it's me, your AI overlord. Pretty cool, huh?
As you can see, the only thing that has been replaced is the clothing and nothing else. We literally just replaced her white shirt and black tie with the red dress that we input right here. Like this is like a one-to-one, the exact same dress. So yeah, I mean, this is really cool. This is really good. And all of that in a single generation. And this can be really good and very precise. So let's say for example, I have this video of this girl dancing that I found on TikTok. And since the video was a little bit long, I'm gonna cap that to something like 250 frames. It's gonna be enough to kind of see how good it is at following the movement. So here, for example, let's say that I want to replace her gray pants with something a little bit more colorful. Let's say that I have this very weird pants that I found online, and then I'm gonna disable this once again. I'm gonna only enable SCC part 1, then I'm gonna click run, then I'm gonna click new canvas, and I'm only gonna select the pants and nothing else. So here, just the pants, there we go, only the pants, and then I'm gonna leave everything else. So I'm gonna leave the woman the same, the background the same. I just want to select the pants and nothing else. So now if I enable the part 2 and I click run, okay, there you go. As you can see, the mask has been done correctly, more or less. So now if I actually just enable everything back again, and now if I click run, and in the end we get something like this. As you can see, everything has been changed correctly. Like the pants has now been changed from gray to the color of the reference image, and the movement of the character, the movement of the woman has been respected perfectly well. So yeah, I mean, this is really good. As you can see, the SCC model is really good. However, what's really cool with this model is that it can do even more. Not only it can replace entire characters, not only it can replace different clothes and different things from the video, but it can pretty much replace anything you want. So like for example, let's say I have this very cute video of this dog, kinda like, being cute and all. Very cute, very nice. But let's say that now I want to replace the dog with another dog. Let's say I want to replace it with a cartoon dog like this. Well, principle always stays the same. I'm just gonna disable everything right here, then disable everything except part 1, click run. Now I'm gonna click new canvas. I'm gonna select the dog that I want to mask and then leave everything else that I don't want to mask. There you go, something like this for example. And now if I enable the part number 2 and I click run, and there you go. As you can see, the dog has now been completely masked with the SCC masking. So now if I once again enable everything else and then I write in the prompt, the white 3D cartoon dog is playing, and now if I click run, and in the end it gives us something like this. As you can see, now the dog has been replaced by, a cartoon version of the dog, and I mean, it looks pretty good. Now, obviously, depending on the size of the mask, you might want to, either increase or decrease that to get like better and more precise movements. Like for example, here, the that the mask has been a little too big, so the hand has been transformed into another hand. But usually if the mask is precise enough, it can be even better. But I mean, just with the result of this, generation alone, it's still pretty decent. And once again, this is really just a simple example. I mean, once you really use it correctly, really the sky is the limit. It is really good. Now, another thing that I also need to show you is the One Animate relight LoRa as well as the face image node. So like for example, sometimes if you want to replace in with another character that doesn't have a face, like for example me. Yes, that's right, I don't have any face, I don't have any ears, I don't have any nose or mouth. And if I want to input that and replace this woman, for example, if I leave, for example, everything by default, I'm just going to change the resolution right here. And I'm actually going to use the normal mask so that it is a little bit faster. And if I input in the prompt, the character is talking, and I enable this auto masking option, if I leave everything by default and I click run, which in the end gives us something like this, which is, oh my god, this is absolutely horrible. I mean, this is definitely not something that we want. This is not my character, and this is, this is not good for what we are looking for. The only thing that we actually don't really want is the fact that there is a face in the final generation. And this is something that we don't want. And the way to fix this is actually very simple. All you have to do is basically just select this node and click on this bypass icon, then click this node and bypass this icon. I inputted a bunch of nodes right here to tell you which one of those nodes you should use. I will also increase the mask a little bit because I think the mask is a little too small. But now that we have disabled the face motion, if now I click run again, which in the end gives us something like this, which now this is much better. As you can see, now we have the movement, we have the same character model. This is way better. Now, indeed, in this case, the character is a little bit, maybe skinny, because, I mean, the model is a woman, so it's not the same, like, broad shoulder character. But I mean, when it comes to the movement, it's still really good. However, there's also another thing that we also can change, where you can see a huge difference as well, is something that I explained and showed you previously, and that is the One Animate relight LoRa. Now, this specific LoRa basically make it so that your character basically is integrated a little bit better inside the scene by changing the light and colors of the original character. So if you actually see my reference image, you can see the character is a little bit, more dark, with a more darker color, with a different shading than the character that you see right there. And although it's still pretty good, it integrated in the scene really well. If it's not something that you actually want, if it's not something that you like, and you actually want to keep more of the original reference character image colors, well, you can simply just come here, put that strength to 0, and without really changing anything, you can just click run again, and basically this time we go from there to something like this. And as you can see, now the colors are definitely way different compared to the previous video that I just showed you, and they are way more close to what you can see in the original reference image right here. So yeah, definitely try to play a little bit with the LoRa. If you don't want to use it, if you want to use it, it's kind of really up to you. And if you don't want to have like the face animation onto your character, definitely disable these 3 nodes right here, and it will work perfectly fine. And once again, obviously, if you don't want to replace an existing character by your reference image, and you just want to copy the animation and paste it onto another character, then once again, it's very simple. Choose your reference image character right here. Since I want the same audio and movement from this video, and I want to apply it to this image, now I can just disable anything that is related to masking, because I don't want to mask the character, I just want the movement. Here, now you can re-enable the face, because, well, we just want to transfer the movement. And if now I click run, which in the end gives us something like this. And as you can see, now we basically have transferred the motion of the original video onto our reference image right there. And I mean, this is really, really good. So although I showed you a lot of examples where we replace an existing character from a video, you're gonna also, of course, do the other option, which is just transferring the motion from a video to an image. And I mean, I gotta say, this is probably one of the best things that you can do with WAN 2.2. This is really just fantastic. I mean, in that case, why use image to video when you can use this workflow instead? This is really insane. But don't worry, even if you don't have a powerful GPU or no GPU at all, you can still run One Animate 2.2 on a website like RunPod and run it as if this was running on your local computer. So if you don't have an account already, you can click the link in the description down below and create a new account. Then you're gonna click on pods and choose a GPU with at least 24GB of VRAM, like a 4090 for example. Then here you're gonna click change template, search for entrepreneur and select the Config UI template. Then you're gonna click edit and put 80GB for both container disk and volume disk. Then click set overrides and then click deploy on demand. Then you're gonna wait until everything is ready. Then you're gonna click right here. Then here you're gonna click on manager, click on update all. And if you want to follow the progress, you're gonna go back, click right here, go inside the logs folder, click on the terminal icon, and copy and paste this line that will allow you to follow the update step by step. And once the update is done, you're gonna go back and click restart, click OK. Then once it's done, you're gonna go back and press F5 on your keyboard to refresh. And now I'm gonna go back, go inside the Config UI folder. And here, if you're one MyPatreon supporters, the installation will be very, very easy for you because I prepared a special RunPod one-click installer that you can find on my Patreon. So just download the file and drag and drop it inside the workspace. Then you're gonna click on new launcher, new terminal icon, and then copy and paste these two lines of code that you will find in the Patreon post. And then press enter. And this will download and install everything that you need to run One Animate 2.2 on RunPod. Simple as that. You don't need to do anything. And then once everything is done, everything is installed, you're gonna go back, and here you're gonna click on manager, click restart, and then once it's done, you're gonna press F5 on your keyboard to refresh, and then all you have to do is just drag and drop the workflow inside Config UI, and there you go. Now you have One Animate 2.2 running on RunPod as if this was running on your local computer. Simple as that. And there you go. This has been One Animate 2.2, an absolutely amazing model that allows you to replace any character from a video, from a reference image, or copy the reference animation to apply it to an image with absolutely fantastic quality and absolutely amazing generation. And with my workflow, you can basically replace anything you want. Cats, dogs, clothing, objects, pretty much anything that you want. And it is really an absolutely amazing model, and I highly recommend you to try it out. So that being said, definitely try this out yourself and have some fun.
Goodbye. See you soon.
And there we are, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you also so much to my Patreon supporters for supporting my videos. You guys are absolutely awesome. You people are the reason why I'm able to make these videos, so thank you so much. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.